So today I want to talk about a variation on the horizontal row, or rather I guess a few variations that I find really beneficial for muscle activation, for shoulder health. I'll use them in my warm-ups, I'll use them in my cool-down. Some days I'll just do them as a workout in itself, mainly on recovery days. It allows for higher rep. I'm using the rubber band. I'm using the thin one. I think it's the mini band from RUBBERBANDITZ because it allows for greater range of motion and then stricter form. So there are certain exercises that I will prefer heavier bands for, and this is one that I actually prefer a lighter band. If you don't already have these single loop rubber bands in your home gym, I highly recommend you get them. They are so useful and not very expensive. They last a long time. Check out discount code below if you want to get some from RUBBERBANDITZ. But let's get into the exercise. So the way I grab it, if you watched my shoulder video, you know that I don't like to grab the rubber bands using the hand. I want to focus on the shoulder. So what I'm going to do is loop it around the wrist just like this. And then what happens is that when it makes that cross in front of the hand, you don't have to hold on to it very tight to stay on, and then you can focus more on the shoulder. So rowing variations. Variation number one is just a standard horizontal row. So from here, the arm stays basically horizontal. It doesn't move up or down. I try to pull my elbow back as far as I can, and in between each one, I'm going to protract, let the band stretch me, straighten the arm, and then pull back. So this is going to be your standard row because we're doing them on one arm, and of course you can do them on two, but on one arm try to avoid rotation of the body, so try to stay strict. Standard row. Protraction of the shoulder, elbow goes back as far as possible. Second variation is we're going to pull the hand to the hip. So basically we're pulling down as we pull back, and as we pull down we're going to also turn the palm upward and hand to the hip. So this would be like a front lever row if I was doing those on a bar or on rings. And in this one, I'm still trying to pull the elbow back, but notice I'm not getting the same elbow flexion as I did in the normal row. And I feel my lats a lot on this one. So this is really good lat activation for any kind of front lever work. And you can do a lot of pull-up variations using this kind of idea as well. So we have regular row, we have hand to the hip, and then we have the face pull or the archer row as I like to call it, and that's going to go also palm up, but this time an internal rotation. So elbow goes up, palm goes up like this. And now watch, what I tend to do to cheat it is I'll move my head a little bit to the side. So I'm trying to keep the head neutral, and we have three different movements. We have regular row, front lever row, archer row, and again I can do these for high reps. They're all good for different reasons, and I'm already here and the band allows me to easily switch between exercises. And then what I'll do after a few reps, and this is kind of the culmination of all of these, is what I call the circular row, and that one goes hand to the hip, rotate through, face pull, rotate through. So I'm trying to keep the elbow back as far as possible throughout the duration of the exercise. It doesn't always go back the same amount. It's going to be the furthest back in that horizontal row position compared to the face pull and the front lever row. But yeah, this is fantastic for shoulder development. This is good for building balance in your shoulders if you're doing too much pushing work. It's good to get your shoulders strong from different angles. And again, I'm going to promote myself a little bit. If you're curious about more shoulder work, I have a full rubber band sequence that you can purchase on my Vimeo channel, so I find that really useful. That's something I try to do every day to keep my shoulders healthy, and this is kind of basically an offshoot of that, and I'll put a link below. So circular rows, I think you should do them. I think they're super beneficial. Other than that, I have a bunch of workshops that I'm about to post, and really big announcement. I have a week-long event coming up in Costa Rica. It's still on early bird discount right now. It's going to happen in March of next year. So it's the last weekend of March 2019. That's March 23 through 30th. And normally when I do weekends, there's still limits, and it's a lot of information, it's a lot of energy in a very short time. So the week-long Costa Rica trip is a good way to get a lot deeper into the material. It's a good way to also have time to relax in between the sessions, because that's something I don't really get to do much, and I think same for the participants when I do my standard weekend events. So definitely check out Costa Rica event. I'll put in a link below. Check out my other workshops. I'm coming to Europe twice. I have a bunch of North America stuff going on. Check out my rubber band shoulder sequence. Let me know what else you'd like to see on this channel, and do yourself a favor, get some single loop rubber bands, try some circular rows, and hopefully your shoulders will feel better for it.